Morning, everyone. I apologize. I am a little bit late. Yeah, anything. Everybody else gets extra moved time zones, so I am. I went from Mountain Standard Time to Pacific Standard Time. So basically, I am losing. I lose an hour. So yes, I will try to get things taken care of, and see what we got going on here. Oh, no, dang it. Oh, I want... Oh, I just screwed up my tweet deck, which is unfortunate. All right, so let's see. All right, good morning. All right, if anybody's showing up here, I got a few minutes. All right, let's just get into it, shall we? I think I screwed everybody up with the time frame because yeah, live trading starts for me in an hour, and I'm gotta be real quick about this live stream. So unfortunately, if nobody shows up, they don't show up. And all right, lots of news, lots of things to get through, and I don't have a whole lot of time to do it, so I'm just going to get going. And again, just apologies that the new time is going to be different. Hopefully, I don't lose a bunch of people, but if I do, it's the cost of living in a weird state. Okay. JD. So JD is a Chinese ADR. However, that whole sector is getting wrecked today. Okay. Just know that. Okay. Shares of all U.S. listed China stocks are sliding. Baba, Baidu, Billy, JD, NetEase, Pinduoduo on rising COVID-19 infections in China and latest tax regs. Meanwhile, cyberspace regulator issued a new set of draft measures aimed at protecting minors, demanding online gambling, live streaming, audio, and video platforms to set up a youth mode for minors. Okay. Yes, the entire market is getting wrecked on the Chinese market. Well, Nokia kind of popped off that news. But so JD said its logistics subsidiary agrees to acquire Chinese logistics firm Deppon Logistics for around 9 billion won to boost its network infrastructure in the country. I don't think any kind of news is going to save JD, Pinduoduo, Baidu, right? Baba, right? They're all going down. Futu possibly down. So Baba is interesting because I've kind of watched this stock just die, and I remember saying at one point, oh, it's $1 billion company, there's no way they're going to take it to zero. Well, I'm eating my words on that. So Baba supports at 80 50 tree. If it hits 80.53, there may be some bounce, or if it breaks it, then we are going to be looking at a bigger downside move on Baba to, geez, the 1618, 74.50 incoming for Baba. All right. Rio said Monday it's got a non-binding proposal to acquire the remaining 49% share in Turquoise Hill Resources for $2.7 billion, the holding company of the copper gold project in Mongol. should be pretty interesting. They're looking to expand, but they give up the ghost. So I'm going to stay away from this until they can reclaim the 200 and get some stack positive moving averages. It did hold 70.60. So if it next logical move down is about 69.54. Okay. Nvidia, ES, Shop, Tesla, Roku, and Google. Okay. All right. I see you. All right. In biotech news, which there's a little bit of, we need to go over that for sure. In healthcare, sorry. IDYA, signed additional clinical trial, collaboration, and supply agreements with Pfizer to evaluate 2 new drugs in combination for a phase 2 trial in patients with melanoma. And a phase 1 trial with patients with CMET tumors. Let's see, they do have earnings coming up, so I would prefer to stay away from them. And checking out Pfizer. So, COVID fears, Pfizer, Moderna, any of those should be making a nice move. Moderna, yeah, nice little move. Moderna. Was it BNTX? Moderna's similar one. Merrick, maybe. No, it looks like Pfizer and Moderna are going to be the players today. Pfizer is interesting. Little bull flag off of the 4-hour monthly top, cloud 4-hour top, daily top. So support at 50, move to 51, 51.89, and possibly up to about 52 on Pfizer. Okay. Let's see, UK households face a £38 billion hit from a surge in electricity and gas costs exacerbated by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That's not good for them. BLDP had earnings. All right, so Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway Corp and its subsidiaries boosted their stake in Red Hot Occidental Petroleum, Oxy, right, by another 1.5 billion over the past week. So they were buying all this last week. This is all them, right? This is oil prices were peaking. A new filing shows the purchases in addition to some 3 billion of Oxy stock bought less than 2 weeks ago. They think this thing's got more room. It did pull back to where I thought it was going to. It's just kind of chilling. Now, this is a nice move from 54 to 57, kind of uptrending. Look for the pullback. Right, look for the pullback to some support levels. This has got to be probably a 2-hour chart. All right, nice bounce. So I would wait long above 57, 58, 59, right? That's kind of pushing it. I would do short below 54 down to 52. Right, it's still kind of trifected, blowing out the top of it. Ooh, also, Macau casinos tumble overnight, right, due to the lockdown. So Wynn, LVS, and MGM, right, those are all going to suffer today as well. I'm thinking 4-hour top 39.50 on MGM, Wynn. Ooh. How low can you go? 69. 68.65 is support on Wynn. Look for a bounce there. GS revised down its year-end target for the S&P index to 4,700 from 4,900. And Ukrainian negotiating presidential advisor says Russia is beginning to talk constructively. Thinks will achieve results in a matter of days. That's good. NATO Security General says that recent false claims by Russia that Ukraine has chemical and biological weapons could be seen as Russia's justification chemical weapons in combat. That's sketchy right there. It's got to be careful for that. Earnings after the close. Coop was to trade all the time, right? They're having a little bit of an issue. They broke 100, so they have earnings today. Got to be careful with them. That's about it for earnings. Stocks are looking higher ahead of a very busy week of major averages, including the two-day FOMC meeting decision, expecting a 25 BPS rate hike. So if they just come out and they stick to the course, right? If they just come through and say, "Hey, that's what we're going to do," if they just say that it's going to be a rate hike, I think it's already built into the market. I don't think there's going to be a massive reaction off of that. If they come in and say higher, then there may be some dips. If they come in and say we're going to postpone it till the next FOMC meeting because of the shape of the market, then expect a rip. Okay. Inflation, PPI data, retail sales, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of stuff coming through. Global bond markets tumble, pushing yields higher with the benchmark 10-year up 8 BPS off a 2022 highs of 2.1. Stocks are looking to bounce back after another dreadful week where the S&P lost 2.9%. Commodity prices also remain volatile with oil prices falling over 4%. I don't trust this. I don't like that news. I don't believe it. So they're saying we're looking for a bounce back. I think we may have next leg down. We're going to get into that right now. Asian markets, Nikkei index rose 154 points. Shanghai dropped 2.6. Hang Seng tumbled over 1,000 points, or roughly 5%. That's crazy. 5% drop in the market. People would be jumping out of buildings in America, right? It's crazy. It's the lowest it's been since 2016. Meanwhile, Hang Seng fell below 4,000, hitting a new all-time low. Asian markets plunged after reports China had partially locked down the cities of Shanghai and Shenzhen for a week as COVID-19 cases rise. In Europe, the DAX is up 2.8. FTSE gains about 0.5%. Okay, now, so, I mean, the easy play is those Chinese ADRs. Like, we don't play easy. All right, let's get into these futures really quickly. I've got to burn through these because I'm an hour behind now on everything. All right, I am an hour behind on everything. So this is the ES, and what we were looking to have happen was a rally to the 21. Well, we never achieved that on Friday, right? We did close it, but we did reach above the 618. We opened a little lower, like we're holding this little line that I had drawn, right, which is a 382. If we can maintain that, I'd look for another move back up into FOMC this week to retest the 21. Right, this will fall down to about here, and I think that we can get up to about here. This will be a decision-making point. Right, do we reclaim the 21 and start trending higher, or do we reject the 21 and set up for a longer-term downside move? Okay, little green box. Remember the little green box? This is the 4-hour from today. This was Friday's move up to the 21. We rejected it, and we couldn't hold above it. Currently, we are, I need to make this a little bigger so that people can see what's happening here. All right. Like currently, we are retesting the 21, or excuse me, retesting the 3.8 extension, bringing it down to the 30-minute chart so you get a better view of what's going on here. All right, we up to the 50 to 3.8, 50, back tested this demand zone, up to the 21, and since then we've just been falling off. Okay, a little rip up. Get this. There we go. A little bit better to see now. All right, if we can't maintain this, right, if we fall, if we make a new low, right, below 4,200, right, then it's going to get pretty ugly, right? 41.89, and then we could potentially run right, maybe downside support 41.17. Contrarian, oh, we did make a new low. All right, contrarian, so gaps have been filled because this gap right here never was filled. Right, now it's been filled, so gaps have been filled. Watch for bear trap or bull traps. Like Yeah, 50 cross down, 21 cross down. So that 50 did cross down, right? It can either take its time to curl back up and around or continue to move down. So down and up and down. We are currently chopping, maintaining trendline support. The opening should be super interesting, okay? I got about 10 minutes. The other thing with me being in this new time zone, right, is the pre-market preps are going to be very, very abbreviated. I keep breaking up. Shit, I've been having internet problems all week and it's pissing me off. It's making me mad. Let me check on my stream health. All right, things seem to be good. I can move this a little bit closer if that helps at all. All right. All right, looking at the Dow, or excuse me, looking at the NQ on the daily, very similar to move, right? Down and up and down, 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 going down. So we gave up the 34, right? Next stop. Do we dip down and make a new low? I would say so. Considering Apple's had some bad news as well, right? I think we melt down to 13,118 because we are at the top. Like right here is there's a supply zone right there, or demand zone, right? This doji demand zone. Last time we were there, we kind of chopped around in there and then bounced. So look for those key levels of support to hold. Bring it down to like a 30-minute chart. 382 rejection. If we, yeah, I'd say below 13, basically if we make a new low, I think we come back down, test previous lows. Bottom of that demand zone is at 13,031. Negatively stacked moving averages across the board. It's just pretty ugly on the NQ right now, okay? I will be looking at QQQ puts, right? And just kind of riding that little, oh, get back here. Riding that trend line down. Melt down on the rejection. All right, so that was the Qs. Got to try to find where they're going to rotate into. Sorry, Johnny. Yeah, it's not sleepyhead. It's the same time for me, right? I get started at the same time, but I can't run the full hour and a half or whatever that I usually run. So I have to kind of try to cram it into about 30 to 45 minutes, which sucks because I don't want to get up earlier. All right, so what did I? It's important to have that level there. All right, up and back, rejected. Big wick here. I'm seeing kind of a little wedge forming here, right? If we ignore this giant wick right there, got a little bit of a wedge forming on the YM or the Dow. Yeah, the dilly daily Dow. A wedge forming on the Dow. 4 hour. Not really giving us a lot of hope. It did reject the 4 hour 50 and can't overtake the 4 hour 21. So let's target the previous lows on the way back down. Okay, we got a skyline at 32,687. That's my downside target for today. Below that, it gets pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. Invalid. On the 30-minute, we had a 2150 rejection, cross down below the 200, right? If we, looks like we're, you know, just say, First stop 32,873. Excuse me. First stop 32912, 32,873, 32,739. Final target 32,693 on the downside. Upside, we've got a lot of work to do. Long above 33,051, 33,095, 31,89. All right, looking at the EO Russell, which I had some hope for in small caps coming into this week because they did pretty good last week. Gave up the ghost though. So if we get this on the 30-minute, we get this 2150 cross down to the 200, right? Look for a lot of heavyweight move back down to 1962. Current support 1980, 1970s. 1977 to 1980. This should be easy number for y'all to remember. Last time we hit here, we bounced. Last time we hit here, we bounced. This time, do we hit here and bounce, or do we just absorb and move down? Okay. Quick little pop. 5 minutes before, some news must have busted out. Not sure what that's all about. It was just a brief little blip. I don't know if it was going up and taking out stops for the larger move to the downside. Very, very possibly could be. 4-hour perspective. Right. Spaghetti mess, right? The way this spaghetti mess cleared out was we were 50 above the 200, 21 trying to break above the 200 and failing it, right? Look at this. Now these are really hard to see. So once this 21 crosses above the 200, then I think that we can look for some magnets to pull us back up. Currently though, like I said, downside, if we do break 1977, next stop 1962, and then each previous low on the way down to the snow line, that's at 1915. That's a big move and would take out the lows, okay? Longs would be, I'm not even going to look at longs, right? Yeah, it looks like 630. I know the confusion. I can either get up an hour earlier and start at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is the time zone I'm in, or I can get an extra hour, not even an extra hour of sleep, get an extra 15 minutes of sleep and start it at 6:30. Whatever works best for y'all. Do you just want me to start at 9 Eastern, 9:30? We'll just do the open. Screw it. All right. So listen, gold. Look at gold. Look at this support right here. Doji. Bing, 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 bing. It did make a new low. So this 382 retracement from this low to this high. 382 retrace test, right? Maintaining this little upward trendline channel. Look for a little curl up. I like gold back up to the upside. There may be a little bit of a wick down here just to retest, complete the cycle down, and then move back up. If we break below, right, if we get a close below 1948 on gold, I think we have a downside move, down cycle back down to the 200. Okay, that's the 4-hour. From a 30-minute perspective, we've got tweezer bottom, up and back. Gold's making its move now. So tweezer bottom, right? Very, very bullish. It's like a double bottom. And then you've got a nice move up with a pullback. So this could be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, right? Very, very possibly on gold. I'm going to look at some companies that trade in gold. Crude. Everybody's talking about how crude's fallen off a cliff. Well, it's just retracing to some key fib levels. Oh, I've got a new tool I need to start using too, right? Big rally, pull back to the 382. We never got a close below it on the daily, so it's still a valid trend. We're still in a valid uptrend because unless we start closing below that, right? Closing below 103.90, right? Which is a 618 retracement and a 382, right? It's amazing how those things line up, right? Look for this level of support to hold. If we break it, right, and get a close below it, right, more than 50% below it, then I would say the trend did not hold and we should look at downside moves. All of that will start building off of the 30-minute, right? 30-minute rip, dip. So once the market opens, we start move pushing lower on crude, right? We take out 102.45. Wee, big move back down to this big old supply demand zone right down here at 96.95. Okay. This is a bounce opportunity, but just gotta, it is downtrending, so just be careful on the crude. ZB bonds, lots of news coming out about that. Right down to that snow line, bounced off of it, trying to make a move back up. Right. Could be a potential 1, 2, 3, setting up that Wu-Tang reversal long above 153.31. So look at TLT. That should be a very similar pattern. Short down below the lows. Okay. And this is the end. Going into last week, thought we were going to get a little bit of a move above the 200. It hasn't overtaken the 50 in quite some time since, well, beginning of the month. Okay. We would really like this to push lower. That would actually help things out. Okay. All right. Getting into really quickly going over. Shit, I'm not giving myself time anymore. All right, Apple off the news last night that Foxconn is stopping manufacturing of its iPhone. Apple's just pulling the market down. Where Apple goes, so goes the market. AMD up and back and up, made a new low. Look for support at 102, resistance at 105, 106. I don't want to get long on AMD till it retakes 107. Okay, Google actually held up pretty nicely. It does have a gap to fill, back down to 25.50 and then 25.21 upside, long above 26.77. Biddy. I do want to look at Tesla real quick. Yeah, this is pretty bearish for Tesla. This is a key level of support that it broke right here, right? This 793 down to 783. It broke that. If we get below 768, I think we get a move back down to towards the 700, right? 700, 720 level. Bearish, bearish, bearish on the 4 hour. 30-minute probably isn't going to be much more of a help, right? So we got a fire line on Tesla at 792. If we can't retake that, then we look at this snow line down 765. If I remember, 765 is a big level of support. Below that, 748. And then there's a tree line down here at 723. So if it is down cycling, 723, I might grab some way out of the money puts just because those should be pretty cheap, right? It's about an ATR away, but downtrending on Tesla. All right. Spidity Spy, right, on our 30-minute chart, couldn't retake the 50-200 cross up and over. Well, we'll see if that changes today. If we can get the 50 above the 200, then I think we can go long. I would wait, set an alert at 423 or 425. We get a close above that, then I think we test 434. If we reject it, we do need to come back a little bit more to fill this gap, this overnight gap down to 419.98. Below that, we have a skyline support at 417.56 and a fire line magnet at 407. May get some 407 puts or some 434 calls. Okay. I'm not going to have enough time to do this in the morning. I got to figure something out. I got to figure something out, y'all. Because I stream the open on Mondays for the bullish bears, but I do that through their Zoom link, and it's not like some. Stay tuned, we'll get it figured out. QQQ kind of bearish. It just created a new range for itself, right? 322 to 327, lower range bound. Below 322, we hit 318. On our way down to 313. Longs above, really longs above 330. 332, 337. SPX, we're not going to go into. Apple, support at 150, 151, below that 148.50. Long, 154, break to 158. AMD, just kind of, you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. I can see it. Right, this is a falling channel, falling wedge. Right, AMD below 102.57. We see 100 and then 97. Okay, this is a lot of downward pressure. Googly goog. It's got the most support. Right, longs above 2632, 2700. Below 2590. We hit 2565, 2520, 2500, magnet 2460. Okay. Nvidia is at a current. All right, Nvidia, dang it, come on, get over here. Nvidia, this green line, this tree line is massive support. So below, right, below 218, we get 214, 212, 208. Right, I'm going to stay away from it until it can clear this 30-minute 200. Right, so above 224, then we get those 226, 227, 228 moves. Tree line 236. So from here to here to here, or if we break this, we go here to here to here. Okay. All right, let me get into your plays real quick, and then I got to run because I'm already being late. So if you have anything, get them to me now. Terry, you were here first, so you obviously get first choice. If you've got a ticker, please let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to throw up Apple real quick, Facebook, and PayPal. All right, Apple net selling the last couple of weeks, right? We already know that Apple is selling off. Geez, 151 being the point. I would agree with it. I'm not seeing any major blocks or anything that are going to help us back up. The flow index is definitely bearishly. They're net selling Apple. So failed double bottom, right? Now we need to look at the downside move like we did, right? New downside move, 148.50. I remember 148.50 is massive level of support for Apple. Contrarian, let's just say that we do get a bounce here, right? Rally to the 21 on the 30-minute, 153, 154 area. The 50 days at 156, that's pretty much the ATR move for Apple. I like 154. Yeah, just don't get bear trapped. Okay. Facebook, flow index trading with price actions. Again, net selling. It's been happening for a couple weeks. If Facebook is going to... Okay, so Facebook's at the 4-hour bottom, right? Rally to the 21, which is pretty much the 4-hour mid. So look for a little bit, if this support holds, got a slingshot getting ready to happen, some high compression squeezes. To go long, we would need to break out of this falling channel and take out some of these previous highs. So I would say long on Facebook above 189, move to 192, and then maybe possible pullback. Pointing down. PayPal, bearish, divert, break the trend line, and we got to go. It's so late. Damn it. I got to figure this out. All right. All right. Bearishly diverged, pulling price action down with it. Kind of flat. All right. Just, PayPal's still ugly. Long above 96 for a move. Oh, wait a minute. All right, we're at the 4-hour mid right now. So the 4-hour mid is 96.80. A safer play would be above previous highs. Right, so above 99.27 for a move up to 100. All right, I gotta run. I gotta go get prepped for this other one. And what that does is it doesn't give me enough time to really dig into anything I would like to trade. So I got to figure that out. Moderna has bearish divergence, but Moderna is running. Just know that we have divergence at 130. That's going to need to be played out. So this 129.28 block should be filled. Oh, Moderna. I hate Moderna, by the way. All right. So reach out to me either through Twitter, Discord, or email, and let me know how we can set up this stream that would best work for y'all without me having to get up an extra hour early. Email me if you don't have me, if you can't connect to me on Discord. Most of you should be able to. All right, I got to run. Thanks for joining me. Real quick, last look at the futures, right? They're just still kind of chopping. All right. And that's after the open has come in. Usually there's a little bit of a pop.